the Emperor. Number 4, ruled by Aries. Saturn just moved into Aries yesterday, February 14th, 2026. Aries energy is really strong right now. We've got a few planets in Aries. Aries is the first sign in the zodiac wheel, and it's fire. It's the ram, the sun's solar energy. The Emperor can represent a divine masculine, a fatherly figure, doesn't have to be. But the Emperor is the king of all kings, the one who's the ruler, is disciplined, responsible. They take action, pretty clear-headed, and they kind of know what to do. They know what actions to take, what choices to make. And on the card, it does say father figure, divine authority, and divine masculine. So an authority figure, possibly. Got this really strong masculine energy, which also reminds me of the year of the fire horse coming up as well, and the solar eclipse. And the majority of it is this creative, active, motivated energy is going to be coming forth into our lives in specific ways. This Emperor card. The 8 of Swords, Air, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra energy. We are actually still in Aquarius season, and the solar eclipse, new moon, is going to be in the sign of Aquarius. We just had an Aquarius stellium, all these planets in Aquarius. This solar eclipse, new moon, is going to be in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius rules the 11th house in astrology of hopes, dreams, wishes, friends, community, innovations, humanitarianism, uniqueness. 8 of Swords, this is interesting because this usually is related to thought patterns, belief systems, communication, the mindset, maybe even the subconscious, cycles and patterns and behaviors that are unbalanced. This is usually trapped mentality, kind of like behind bars, self-sabotaging energies related to the mindset and belief systems. With the solar eclipse coming up / new moon in Aquarius, that's going to be breaking free the consciousness from the lower state of dense, lower vibrations, energies, and frequencies, subconscious patterns and behaviors that are self-sabotaging, to keep us in these loops and cycles, to keep us trapped away from our highest potential, our true authenticity. So a breaking free of the chains of behind bars, of any kind of trapped, blocked energies. So taking authority, so we have authority and we have this jail, behind bars, chain energy, some kind of authority in some way. It could be related to overthinking patterns, overactive ego, overactive mindset, and overactive ego. That's what I get with the Emperor and the 8 of Swords, and overactive ego for sure. Okay, maybe even narcissistic behaviors or tendencies. 7 of Pearls. This is the 7 of Pentacles, Earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. 7 of Pentacles is slow growth, leveling up. It's hard work, determination, focus, working on your skills, very patient energy. It's like taking a while to grow the garden, focused on reaching an achievement, some success, some fulfillment, a dream, or just a goal. It's like you've done the slow and steady work, done the inner work, self-reflection, working on things, coming a long way. So coming a long way in this lifetime here now, in your life, from the old version of you to who you are becoming. You've done a lot of growth, a lot of work in your life in maybe many different ways. And it could be the ego, behaviors and patterns, thought patterns and belief systems, maybe coming to these epiphanies and realizations of how you keep yourself held back in a lot of different ways of your highest potential or the potential you carry. Now you have the Lovers, ruled by Gemini air. It rules the 3rd house in astrology of the mentality, communication. It's also related to community, transportation journeys, and technology, by the way. AI is very interesting here. It says eternal love, reconciliation, and decisiveness. Number 6 of the major arcana. 6 can be the divine embodiment of love. Lover's card is usually more of a choice, a decision, than a relationship. It could be a relationship, a choice, a decision, free will. In making those decisions and choices throughout your life in different ways, in bringing harmony, unity, and balance into your life, which can also be related to justice, right? The scales of justice. Taking responsibility. So you're beginning to maybe take responsibility of patterns, cycles, sabotaging behaviors and how you keep yourself held back in many different ways of growing even more, of leveling up even more. So this choice and decisions coming in, and I do feel it is connected to the solar eclipse. I mean, look at the image. And very related to the mindset and subconscious, maybe conditioning and programming. So I get this a lot. And the devil card's on the bottom of the deck. This is the number 15. It's ruled by Capricorn. Capricorn's earthy. It rules the 10th house of career, public image, social status, and hard work. So it says entanglement, obsession, and restriction. Medusa could be significant. And that reminds me of the snakes. We're coming out of the year of the wood snake and entering the year of the fire horse. So it makes a lot of sense. Shedding old skins and identities, old patterns and ways and cycles, right? Repeated. And the mind, the head, so subconscious, those belief systems, those thought patterns. This is also related to chains, cords, attachments, sticky energies, things that kind of are addictive or lower vibrational, that could be negative, very trapped energy. Coming out of the shadows, coming out of the dark night of the soul could be significant. Kundalini with the snakes could also be significant. Kundalini, life force energy, kind of reactivating, reawakening within your energy body, bringing this enlightenment into your life in ways where you can free yourself from any of those obsessive patterns or sabotaging, negative, unhealthy things throughout your life, in your life. Starseed Oracle. You may resonate as being a starseed. We did use the Age of Aquarius tarot. The solar eclipse and the new moon is actually linked to darkness. This time it may feel you're the only light in the dark. Very unknown, unaware, not sure what's what or what to believe. That's happening a lot with the collective, so that makes sense too. Breath of the cosmos, breath. We got that air energy. Gemini, communication. So being very, very mindful of what you speak, how you think, what your patterns of belief and thoughts are, and being mindful of how you speak, think about yourself. It says, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. That kind of does remind me of the Emperor card a little bit. Page 42, so 6 again. When we rely only on our own will, we're micromanaging the universe and resisting the natural flow of life. We're not trusting the mysterious breath of life. We're rejecting the great cosmic intelligence and relying instead on our personal strength. When we do this, we find ourselves attempting to bend things to our will. That does remind me of that self-sabotaging energy, and we may do it subconsciously, not even aware of it. We spend our time forcing, pushing, and living from a space of trying to. Everyone around us can feel it, and the universe can too. You're being called to stop micromanaging the universe and trust the breath of life, to surrender to the greater will that God has for you, to move from my will to thy will. When you surrender to the greater will of life, you begin dancing with the rest of life. When you bow to the great mystery and say, please use me, please show me the way, little by little you find yourself living your most fulfilling, authentic life. When you surrender your personal will, when you relinquish control, that Emperor energy, and release the way you think things should be and surrender to the greater will, you find yourself being led. You begin breathing the breath of life. The activation says, and whisper the following: I am willing to stop relying on my own strength and personal agenda, and instead surrender to the breath of life. Dear God, help me move from my will to thy will. Please lead me. Please show me the way. It really is about surrendering and this liberation of how we control through fear and lack, anxieties, the worries, and that's all the lower energies of the 3D, of like old paradigm and the devilish energies. A lot of surrenderings needed, especially during the solar eclipse, where the light is the less dominant. But from then, that point is when the light begins to grow. And then we'll have the lunar eclipse around March 3rd, 2026. Okay, one more. Creation, the creator. So not micromanaging the universe, but also like the surrender. So being creative is a wonderful way of witnessing the unfolding of your limitless creative soul. So getting more creative in maybe how you surrender on how you do things, or what you think, or your belief systems, how you communicate, how you have relationships. So getting a little bit more creative, and that's a fiery energy too. And I do feel like the solar eclipse is also part of an awakening and a level up, a new way in how we create our lives. So creating and manifesting through the breath is really important here, okay? So beautiful message as always. Just take what resonates. Abundant love and light. So be it, so it is. Bye.